And that's what is happening. We want to just remind you that there are quite a number of heads of states who are here today, and very shortly we'll of course get to know who the presidents are. We have presidents from the region, we have presidents from the continent, and we also have delegations from the rest of the world, as you'll continue to see the different persons. We have heads of states who have not come but have sent representation or representatives who are all here, and these of course we will know as the director of ceremonies continues to announce or to let us know who actually is here. But let's continue enjoying what is happening here at the ceremonial independence grounds in Kololo, Uganda. Now that's the beginning formation or the performance by the Uganda People's Defense Forces together with the Uganda Police Force and the Uganda Prisons Services that are forming or making the parade today in those very beautiful ceremonial colors, as you can see.
Thank you very much, Parade, thus far. Let me ask the band now to treat us to a tune as we transit into the next ceremonies.
Mtazamaji wa TBC1 pamoja na UBC TV unaendelea kufuatilia matangazo mbashara kutoka katika viwanja vya Kololo hapa Uganda. Rais Yoweri Kaguta Museveni tayari amekwisha kagua gwaride lenye umbo la alfa kwa mara ya mwanzo kabisa, ikiwa ni ishara ya uongozi wa miaka mingine mitano, yani kuanzia mwaka 2021 mpaka 2026, akiongoza taifa la Uganda lenye watu takriban milioni 45 hivi sasa, mikoa mikuu ikiwa minne: mkoa wa kati, mkoa wa kaskazini, mkoa wa magharibi, mkoa wa mashariki, kukiwa na mikoa midogo mingine 20 na wilaya kadhaa, wabunge wakiwa zaidi ya 500, lakini vile vile katika mgawanyo wa serikali kukiwa na serikali kuu pamoja na serikali za vijiji, serikali za mitaa zinazoongozwa na viongozi wa vijiji, viongozi wa kata na viongozi wa wilaya. Nimekudokeza tu kwa kifupi jinsi uongozi ulivyo hapa. Rais Yoweri Kaguta Museveni wa Uganda alishinda katika uchaguzi uliofanyika tarehe 14 mwezi Januari mwaka huu 2021. Vyama vilivyoshiriki katika uchaguzi vilikuwa ni vyama vitano, wagombea wakiwa 11, watano wakitoka katika vyama vilivyoshiriki uchaguzi, 6 wakitoka wakiwa ni wagombea binafsi, na vyama vilivyoshiriki ni pamoja na NRM, DP, FDC, ANT, MVP. Ndivyo ambavyo vilishiriki katika uchaguzi ambao Rais Yoweri Kaguta Museveni ameshinda kwa mara nyingine tena. Na nikwambie tu, huyu ni miongoni mwa wanasiasa wakongwe na wanasiasa mahiri wenye mchango mkubwa katika Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki, lakini si Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki pekee, vile vile Umoja wa Afrika, Jumuiya ya Maendeleo Kusini mwa Afrika SADC, akiwa ni kiungo muhimu kabisa na miongoni mwa wana wema kabisa wa Afrika ama wana majumui wa Afrika. Unaendelea kufuatilia tukio hili muhimu linalohudhuriwa na viongozi takriban 20 kutoka katika nchi mbalimbali za bara la Afrika. Rais Yoweri KAGUTA Museveni kama unavyomtazama hapo katika televisheni akiwa na bashasha kabisa, ikiwa ni ishara kwamba ni kiongozi muhimu na mwenye nguvu bado kuongoza Uganda kwa miaka mingine mitano.
We now transit into the flypast. In the horizon, you will now see the helicopters in a formation. Flight 1 is commanded by Captain Uapisho. This is a combined flight of general transport and close air combat. We salute Your Excellency upon this great achievement. The helicopters are carrying the national flag. East African flag, and the Special Forces Command flag.
Banange Chemulaba, you're part of the parade. Helicopters are fair. Ngazeu uba waggulu ndoza mwenna mulaba Uganda flag anti tulina president omupya.
Your Excellency, flying now is the Kasevac and Medivac flights commanded by Captain Amoni Mujisha. These are used for casualty evacuation and medical evacuation in war. Flying past Your Excellency are caravans. Excellency of the battle. Multi-role fighter jets commanded by Captain James Humara. They are in a diamond formation displayed. It's an indication of a standby and all-round defense pledged by the Air Forces of Uganda to Your Excellency.
Bannange ab'olulimi Oluganda, ennyonyi eziyitirawo mu bbanga ezaakayitawo emirundi emingi era naziraga emigaso egy'enjawulo. Ezaakayitawo mu Luswayiri agamba fanya fujjo owone. Nwanyi tubadde nesobola okulwana, tuyina isobola okutambuza abantu bulijjo tuwulira nga tu airliftinga abantu ababa bafunye obuzibu, nazo tuzisobola okutambuza ebintu, nazo tuziyina. Kale waggulu ne wansi gulugulu. Your Excellency, we had not mentioned the names of the commanders. The first flight was commanded by Colonel Waiswa. The flight 2 was commanded by Captain Frank Murindwa. And these were basically for surveillance and junior trainers. The third flight was commanded by Colonel Katatumba, and this was particularly for CASIVAC and MEDEVAC. Flight number 4 was commanded by Lieutenant Ronald Baluku, which serves as both light combat and junior jet combat trainer, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, those are multi-role fighter jets, the Sukhois. Your Excellency, in the horizon are helicopters. On board are special forces, and they will display a unique deployment tactic. They are carrying the national flag of Uganda, the East African flag, the Joint Forces flag, and the Special Forces Command flag.
Mulaba bannange ennyonyi eyo eri mu bbanga, helikopita eyo eleese flags. Flag eya Uganda, flag eya East Africa, ne flag eya Joint Forces. Era tumanyi nga bannange abali eyo bannayuganda abalaba n'abatalaba bulungi. We have our paratroopers. Mwetegereze bulungi. Mubalaba bannange. Twebaza Air Force, twebaza Chief of Defence Forces, twebaza our Commander-in-Chief for such capabilities. We want to thank Your Excellency. Abakulu abakulira ekitongole ekikuuma ddembe bagambye nti beeteefuteefu okukuuma Uganda mu bbanga ne ku nsi. Baabo bafulumya endowooza mubalaba. Twagala okwebaza. We want to thank you, Your Excellency, our Commander-in-Chief, our Chief of Defence Forces, for allowing us to have such capabilities that Uganda can enjoy security and all-round support on ground and in air. We thank Your Excellency. The paratroopers are still coming off. Bannange bannayuganda abo baana bammwe baawano, bannayuganda abaana be muzaala, mwebale nnyo okubatuwa. Ndowooza muyinza okulaba mu bwengula gye bavudde, bakyajja, wuuyo omulala afuluma. Yes. Head down, legs up. Yes. Yes, Your Excellency, the diamond formations displayed are an indication of a standby all-round defense pledged by the Air Force, Your Excellency.
Fellow Ugandans and all invited guests, join me in congratulating His Excellency Yoweri KAGUTA Museveni upon his assumption of the highest office in the land. Abobululu muliwa Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri KAGUTA Museveni, allow me to invite the following religious leaders to come over and pray for the blessing of both the President's new term of office and the nation. the Most Reverend Kazimba Mugalu, Archbishop of Uganda, representing the Christian faith. His Eminence, Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubaje, the Mufti of Uganda, representing the Islamic faith. Thank you.
Dear Ugandans, we have all reasons to praise God, from whom all blessings flow, for the new president who has just been sworn in the office. Let us give God a mighty hand clap. We congratulate you, Your Excellency, and Mama. Let us pray. Psalms 33, verse 10 says, "The Lord foils the plans of the nations. He thwarts the purposes of the peoples. But the plans of the Lord stand firm forever, the purposes of his heart through all generations." Verse 12, "Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, the people he chose for his inheritance. From heaven the Lord looks down and sees all mankind. From his dwelling place he watches all who live on earth. He who forms the hearts of all, who considers everything they do. No king is saved by the size of his army. No warrior escapes by his great strength. A horse is a vain hope for deliverance. Despite all its great strength, it cannot save. But the eyes of the Lord are on those who fear him, on those whose hope is in his unfailing love, to deliver them from death and keep them alive in famine. We wait in hope for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. In him our hearts rejoice, for we trust in his holy name. May your unfailing love be with us, Lord, even as we put our hope in you. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. When we look back and see what we have gone through, we can attribute everything to God. When we see the protection during this pandemic time, we attribute the victory to none, the healing to none other than God, who revealed himself in Jesus Christ. The psalmist says, "Blessed is the nation who trust God as their master." Psalms 2 Samuel 23, verse 3, "The God of Israel spoke, the rock of Israel said to me," when one rules over people in righteousness, when he rules in the fear of God, he is like the light of morning at sunrise, on a cloudless morning, like the brightness after rain that brings grass on the earth. Leaders are called to be God-fearing, called to be full of justice in their decision-making. God promises blessings on a nation whose leaders are just and God-fearing, leaders whose God is the Lord. God desires our nation to be a God-fearing nation in order to tap his blessings. God desires our nation to be a place where we can live in peace, peaceful and joyful nation. There is a continued need for the spirit of unity and a sense of union, regardless of our different tribes, regardless of our denominations, regardless of our differences in status. Jesus taught us to love one another. Let there be peace amongst us. Let there be peace amongst our neighbors and neighboring countries, especially in East Africa and Africa at large. God calls us to be an educated nation. God calls us to rebuild humanism into humanism using our education. Let there be peace amongst our neighbors. Let us always remember God calls us to have a prosperous nation, transformation of the household from subsistence production to monetized economy, to fight poverty in our country. Let us always look to God, who is the source of our living. May God bless us, may God sustain us, may God take care of us, that we will have conversion of the head, conversion of the heart, conversion of the hands, conversion of the homes, conversion of the hospitals. May God bless us and bless our. Where there is hatred, let us sow love. Where there is injury, let there be pardon and healing. Where there is discord, let there be union. Where there is doubt, let there be faith. Where there is despair, let there be us. We render the devil powerless. We take the devil as a captive. And we declare and decree Uganda belongs to God. Uganda is for God through Jesus. And we render the enemy powerless. We take the devil as a captive. We declare Uganda a God-fearing nation, educated nation, a healthy nation, prosperous nation, harmonious nation. In the name of the Father, the Son.
Parade Commander.
Let me request that we all rise up for the passing of the colors. Your Excellencies, you may be seated. Your Excellencies, once again, let me request that we rise for the colors as they pass. You may be seated, Your Excellencies.
kusahau wakati. Tasanga mbele kwa heshima, wameenda waraka saa kati mbele kimbia.
Let's rise up for the national anthem. You may be seated, Your Excellencies.
Shangilia kwa heshima na utifu kwa Rais wa Jamhuri wa Uganda, wananchi wa Uganda na Jeshi la Ulinzi la Wananchi wa Uganda. Viva Rais wa Uganda! Viva wananchi wa Uganda! Viva Jeshi la Ulinzi la Wananchi wa Uganda! Kofia kichwani, wake up! Badilisha! Slip! Snap again! Wake up! Yep. Mheshimiwa Rais na Amiri Jeshi Mkuu, huo ni mwisho wa gwaride. Naomba uitoa gwaride nakala uwanjani. Mheshimiwa Rais. Nataka uwanjani komendo haraka, kikundi cha kwanza tuongoza
That is the parade. soon it's going to leave the grounds. Different from what usually happens, the colors march off first and then the parade follows, but this time round, both are moving off at the same time. That is Uganda People's Defense Forces donning red, Uganda Police donning on black, and Uganda Prison Service donning the gray and red. Our directors of music, the UPDF is Brigadier General Justin Anyoa, the police is SP Stephen Okwi, and prisons ASP P.O. Nyeko.
I want to thank the parade commander for the work well done. Your Excellency, this function has been graced by people from all walks of life. And amongst others, allow me introduce the following for your recognition, sir. We have His Excellency, President of the Republic of Uganda, Edward Kiwanuka II, is here with us. We have the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament of Uganda, Rebecca Alitwala Kadaga. We have His Lordship, the Chief Justice, Alphonse Owiny-Dollo, is with us here. We have the National Vice Chairperson of the NRM Party, Haj Moses Chigongo, is here with us. We have the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Olanya, is here with us. We have His Lordship, the Deputy Chief Justice, Richard Butera, is here with us. We have the Right Honorable Prime Minister of Uganda, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, is here with us. We have the Right Honorable First Deputy Prime Minister, General Moses Ali, is here with us. We have the Right Honorable Secretary General of the NRM Party, Justin Kasule Lumumba, she's here with us. We have the Honorable Ministers in attendance. I request the Honorable Ministers who are around to please stand for HE's recognition. We have the Leader of Opposition of the Uganda People's Congress, Honorable Jimmy Akena, is here with us. We have the former Prime Minister of Uganda, the Right Honorable Amama Mbabazi, is also here with us, and his wife. We have the Head of Public Service and Secretary to Cabinet, Dr. John Mitala. We have amongst us the members of the Central Executive Committee, and I request that you stand for HE's recognition. We also have the Excellencies, the ambassadors, and leaders of the international organization. I request that you stand for HE's recognition. We have religious leaders. I request that you stand for HE's recognition. We have the cultural leaders present and their representatives. I request that you stand up for HE's recognition. We have members of Parliament elect. I request that you stand up for HE's recognition wherever you are. Members of Parliament elect. So we have members of the Judicial Service, the Lord Justices, they are here. Please stand up for HE's recognition. have the chief, we have the service staff, and amongst others, we have the CDF General is here. We have the IGP, Mr. Martin Ochola, and we have the Commissioner General of Prisons, Dr. Yosheja. We also have the permanent secretaries, amongst others. I request that you stand up for HE's recognition. We have the directors and commissioners of departments and agencies. Please stand up for HE's recognition. We have presidential advisors. Please stand up for HE's recognition. We have resident district commissioners, the RDCs. Please stand up for HE's recognition. So we also have the delegates from all the districts of Uganda, and they are seated in the pavilion. Please wave to HE the President. Amongst us here, sir, we have Yoba Zukulu, the ghetto youth. Please stand up for HE's recognition. Sir, we have so many invited guests, but we cannot introduce them, and I want to recognize them in their various capacities. It is now my honor and pleasure to invite Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri KAGUTA Museveni, to introduce the visiting heads of states and government, and then address the nation. I want to thank you.
Mwena mbaramusiza mwena. Mwebale kurwana urutaro rupapura. Your Excellencies, the visiting heads of state,
les chefs d'État et de gouvernement,
we have been fighting corona here.
On est en train de lutter contre le corona ici, le COVID-19.
Therefore, for this occasion,
à cette occasion,
we invited only leaders.
Nous avons seulement invité les chefs d'État et d'autres leaders.
No, leaders within Uganda.
Les chefs dans le gouvernement ougandais.
These people you see seated here,
tous les gens que vous voyez qui sont assis là-bas,
are leaders in the districts of Uganda.
Sont les chefs dans les différentes régions de l'Ouganda.
There are about 5,000 of them.
Ils sont 5 000 en nombre.
And they are all tested for corona.
Et ils ont tous testé pour le Covid-19.
That's how we allowed them to get together.
C'est comme ça qu'ils ont permis d'être là-bas.
Now, Ugandans, today,
Les Ougandais aujourd'hui,
you have had a great honor
ont un grand honneur
of hosting your brothers and sisters from Africa,
des visiteurs, frères et sœurs de l'Afrique entière,
the heads of state.
Les chefs d'État et de gouvernement,
who came to be on this occasion.
qui sont venus assister à cette occasion.
And I'm very grateful for them to come.
Je les remercie d'avoir venu ici.
I will introduce them
Je vais faire la présentation.
not according to their seniority,
Je ne vais pas suivre la présidence,
but according to the way they are listed here. I think it was arrivals.
mais je vais suivre la liste comme ils sont arrivés dans le pays.
We have got His Excellency Felix Antoine Tshisekedi, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo.
J'ai l'honneur de vous présenter, Excellence, Monsieur Félix Antoine Tshisekedi, Président de la République démocratique du Congo.
Abakongo mbamanyi mujaya kasente. We have got your brother, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, President of the Republic.
J'ai l'honneur aussi de vous présenter votre frère, Monsieur Uhuru Kenyatta, le président du Kenya.
You have got an old fighter,
Nous avons aussi un ancien combattant,
ancien combattant, yes, who came from very far.
qui est venu de très loin,
His Excellency Alpha Conde, President of the Republic of Guinea.
Son Excellence, Monsieur Alpha Condé, président de la République de Guinée.
Guinea-Conakry.
Guinée-Conakry.
Some of you Ugandans, you don't know much about Africa.
Il y a quelques Ougandais qui ne connaissent pas beaucoup concernant l'Afrique.
You may not know where Guinea-Conakry is,
Peut-être que vous ne savez même pas où le Conakry se trouve,
but this is the land of His Excellency Sékou Touré.
mais c'est la terre de Monsieur Sékou Touré.
You have got your relative,
Nous avons aussi notre frère.
Freya is relative. Oh, okay. This is His Excellency General Salva Kiir Mayardit.
C'est Son Excellence, Monsieur Salva Kiir Mayardit.
Ate nga bwe mmanyi omugga gwaffe bagwita Kiira. And His Excellency Salva's name Kiir actually means Kiira. You have got a brother,
Je voudrais aussi vous présenter à notre frère
and a first lady,
et la première dame
from a distant place.
d'un endroit très loin.
And His Excellency Hage Geingob, President of the Republic of Namibia.
C'est Son Excellence Hage Geingob, président de la République de la Namibie.
Some of you may not know where Namibia is.
Peut-être vous ne savez pas où se trouve la Namibie,
But this is the land of Sam Nujoma.
mais c'est la terre de Sam Nujoma.
You have got a brother who has never been here,
Et j'ai l'honneur de vous présenter à notre frère qui n'a jamais visité l'Ouganda.
and he's from historically a very important country,
Il vient d'un pays très social.
and His Excellency Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana.
Son Excellence Akufo-Addo, président de la République de Ghana.
As you know, Ghana
Comme vous savez, le Ghana,
is the land of Nkrumah.
c'est la terre de Nkrumah.
You have got your own brother,
Nous avons aussi votre frère,
His Excellency Muhammad Abdullahi Farmajo, President of the Republic of Somalia.
Son Excellence Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, président de la République de la Somalie,
And the First Lady.
et la Première Dame.
We have got His Excellency Emerson Mnangagwa,
Nous avons aussi Son Excellence Mnangagwa,
President of the Republic of Zimbabwe.
le président de la République de Zimbabwe.
And you know Zimbabwe is the land of Mzee Mugabe.
Et vous savez très bien que c'est la terre de l'excellence décédé M. Mugabe.
You have got Umuvandimwe, a brother, His Excellency Evariste Ndayishimiye,
Nous avons aussi son Excellence Ndayishimiye,
President of the Republic of Burundi and First Lady.
président de la République de Burundi et la Première Dame.
And we have got your own very sister, your own.
Nous avons notre vraie sœur,
This is Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan.
son Excellence Madame Samia Suluhu, présidente de la République unie de la Tanzanie.
President of the United Republic of Tanzania. You have got Her Excellency Saleh Zewede, President of the Federal Republic of Ethiopia.
Nous avons aussi Excellence le président de la République fédérale de l'Éthiopie.
You have got His Excellency Yami Osibajo, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Nous avons aussi le vice-président de la République fédérale de la Nigeria.
You have got His Excellency Malik Agar, member of the Governing Council of Sudan Khartoum, Bashir.
Nous avons aussi M. Agar, membre du Conseil gouverneur du Soudan du Sud.
But these are not Bashiris, these are different.
Ceux-ci sont différents.
And we have got Her Excellency Rose Osuka Raponda, Prime Minister of Gabon.
Nous avons aussi Madame Rose Osuka Rampunta, Premier ministre de Gabon.
You have got powerful freedom fighter lady,
Nous avons aussi un ancien combattant, une dame,
Dr. Naledi, Minister of International Relations and Cooperation of South Africa.
Dr. Naledi, ministère des Affaires extérieures et coopération internationale de l'Afrique du Sud.
Representing His Excellency Ramaphosa.
Représentant Monsieur le Président de l'Afrique du Sud, Monsieur Ramaphosa.
You've got Honorable Simeon Oyono from Equatorial Guinea.
Nous avons aussi l'honorable Simeon Oyono de la Guinée équatoriale.
We've got Honorable Tete Antonio, Minister of External Relations of Angola.
Nous avons aussi l'honorable Tete Antonio, ministère des Affaires étrangères de l'Angola.
These are representing their presidents.
Ceci représente leur chef d'État.
We've got a Minister for Veterans.
Nous avons aussi le ministre des anciens combattants.
Honorable George Siria, Minister of Veterans in Mozambique.
Monsieur George Siria, ministère en charge de anciens combattants.
Where we trained your freedom fighters.
C'est là où nous avons formé les combattants qui ont libéré l'Ouganda.
We've got Honorable Mohammed Salem, Minister of Sahara Republic.
Nous avons aussi le ministre de Sahraoui République.
We've got Honorable Sabri from Algeria, representing the President.
Nous avons aussi l'honorable Saroui de l'Algérie, représentant Excellence, Monsieur le Président de l'Algérie.
We've got Honorable Mikhail Bogdanov,
Nous avons aussi
Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia.
Excellence Mikhail Bogdanov, ministère des Affaires étrangères de la Russie.
You've got Sheikh Shakbut bin Nahyan, Minister of State in the Emirates, UAE.
Nous avons aussi monsieur le ministère des États des Émirats Arabes Unis.
You have got Honorable Abdulaziz Katani, Minister of State for African Affairs of Saudi Arabia.
Nous avons aussi l'honorable Aziz Katan de l'Arabie Saoudite.
You have got Professor Manasi Nshuti, Minister of State for East African Affairs from Rwanda.
Nous avons aussi Excellence Manasi Nshuti,
representing His Excellency Paul Kagame.
Du Rwanda, représentant Son Excellence, Monsieur Paul Kagame.
You have got our chairperson, our chairman, H. Musa Faki Mohammed, chairperson of the African Union Commission.
Nous avons le chef de commission de l'Union africaine.
Dr. Peter Mathuki, Secretary General of East African Community.
Le secrétaire général de la communauté de l'Afrique de l'Est.
Dr. Gebeyehu, Executive Secretary of IGAD.
Le secrétaire exécutif de l'IGAD.
His Excellency Zheng, representing President Xi Jinping, President of the Republic of China.
Son Excellence Zheng, représentant Monsieur le Président de la Chine, Jinping.
Ashraf, His Excellency Ashraf Sweram, representing Abdul Fattah al-Sisi, President of the Republic of Egypt.
Excellence Ashraf Zata, représentant le chef d'État de la République de l'Égypte.
His Excellency Benson Chari, representing President Edgar Lungu of Zambia.
Excellence représentant le président de la Zambie.
His Excellency Kananathan, representing the President of Sri Lanka.
Excellence Kananathan, représentant.
Distinguished guests, all the wananchi mwenna, abazee wano n'abataze, mwebale okuwuliriza okwabula kwaffe nti muleme okwekunganya, nti mugoberere ebigenda mu maaso ku radio, twewala akawuka kano, akawuka tuli kumpi okukavunuuka. Temuleka obwato ne bufa magoba. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellencies, the people of Uganda and myself welcome you to Uganda. I thank you for coming to show solidarity with us on this joyful occasion. By 1900, the whole of Africa had been colonized, except for Ethiopia. This was a big shame to Africa, and it was all due to the political fragmentation of Africa in smaller kingdoms and chiefdoms. Some of the traditional leaders tried to fight to preserve their independence. They were, however, not coordinated, and they were defeated one by one. Taking Uganda as an example, our society at that time was a pre-capitalist, mainly non-money one, using barter trade, and comprised of three social classes: the feudalists, the artisans, and the peasants. By 1962, at independence, this pre-capitalist economy and society had somewhat metamorphosed into a typical enclave colonial economy with a small island of modernity that had entered the money economy, surrounded by a sea of backward subsistence economic activities that only catered for food and no cash. The small monetary enclave economy left by the British was described as the economy of the 3 C's and the 3 T's. The 3 C's being coffee, cotton, and copper, and the 3 T's being tobacco, tea, and tourism. This little enclave was growing well. In 1969, it grew at the rate of 11%. When the illiterate Idi Amin came in 1971, the small enclave collapsed almost completely. By 1986, 16 years after the onset of the Idi Amin regime, 2 of the 3 Cs, cotton and copper, had disappeared, and 2 of the 3 Ts, tourism and tea, had either disappeared or radically shrunk. Tea exports had gone from 23 million kilograms in 1969 to only 3 million kilograms. Hence, it was only coffee and tobacco that were still limping on. And there, I put a picture of a tea plantation that had become a forest. You will see it on page 4. And on page 5, I put a picture of similar tea estates after they had been rehabilitated. With the clear-headed ideology of the NRM, we had correctly diagnosed the problem of Uganda. Philosophically and strategically, the main mistake was to emphasize identity, religion, tribe, and gender chauvinism, instead of emphasizing interests such as markets where you sell your products, security, infrastructure, etc. Accordingly, we distilled the 4 principles of NRM. Number 1, patriotism, loving Uganda and rejecting sectarianism of religion or tribe, as well as gender chauvinism. This is, among other reasons, to ensure that the united market of Uganda is available for our producers without any hindrances such as multiple taxation by the different local governments. 2, realizing that the internal market of Uganda is not enough, if we are to support our producers of goods and services, we saw that Pan-Africanism was a necessity for the prosperity of our society. 3, Ugandans could not, however, benefit fully from the Ugandan market, the African market, or indeed the global market, unless they underwent socio-economic transformation, change from the pre-capitalist traditional culture of only working for the stomach or engaging in an economic, colonially demanded cash crops to producing remunerative products and services that are market-driven. While joining the money economy is one of the stimuli for socio-economic transformation, we cannot also forget the other one, the development of the human resource through education. The 4th principle of the of NRM's diagnosis and prescription for Ugandan society is democracy. The Ugandans had not known democracy during the time of the pre-colonial kings and chiefs. They had not known democracy during the time of colonialism and during much of the post-colonial time, except for the 4 years between 1962 and 1966. That is how and why we designed a most elaborate democratic structure involving 96,860 elective positions in the whole country. In Parliament, we have got 353 directly elective constituencies, open to all Ugandans that have advanced level education and are above the age of 18 years old. On account of the reasons of our culture, out of this number, only a small number of women always make it through this law of the survival of the fittest. In the outgoing parliament, such women, the women who can knock down men, were only 19. And in the coming parliament, such women, the ones who can knock down men, are only 14. At independence in 1962, out of a parliament of 92 members of parliament, only 2 were women. Florence Arsulbega and Shugura Vizram, an Indian lady. It is on account of this structural marginalization of some sectors of our society that we added special seats for women, one per district, youth, 1 per region, disabled, 1 per region, workers, 5, the Liberation Army, UPDF, 10, and recently, 5 for the older persons, those above 65 years, 1 per region. I doubt very much that there are many comparable pro-people democratic structures in the world. These people are sitting here. They are not a story. They are human beings. They are all here. It is therefore quite comic and laughable to hear of some actors in the world giving us lectures about democracy. You give me a lecture about democracy? What are your own credentials? We designed this system not from the air-conditioned rooms, but from the jungles of our country, where we lived with the people in their hearts in those days for much of the 16 years of the resistance, 1971 to 1986. If you discount the student years where, again, we interacted closely with the masses. What is needed is to expunge the corruption of the use of money that has been creeping in, brought in by the opportunist careerists looking for jobs and not for service. It is quite laughable to try to give lectures about democracy to architects of such a system. We built this system for our people. We neither seek nor need any approbation from anybody outside Uganda, except our peers in the African Union and NEPAD, to whom we are linked by African brotherhood, solidarity, and shared values based on mutual respect. We can also share our experience with those beyond the African shores on the basis of mutual respect. If you want to know what we are doing in a respectful way, we can share with you, but no lectures. The 4 principles have served us well. In the last 35 years, the economy has been growing at the rate of 6.2% per annum. It now stands at 40.5 billion if you use the exchange rate method and 116 billion if you use the PPP method. With the activation of the oil sector, which has been dormant ever since 2006, when we discovered the petroleum, and if you add the expected average growth rate of 6% per annum post-COVID-19, the combination will expand the economy to an estimated $67 billion by 2026 using the exchange rate method and $193 billion using the PPP method, meaning that the economy will be growing at the rate of between 9–10% in the initial years of oil production. This rate of growth, although reasonable, is not what I want. With the rise of the literacy rate from 43% in 1986 to now 76.5%, we can achieve much higher, much faster rates of growth, and I will see to that. These rates of growth, 6%, that is calculated by abantu bamwe finance abo beba balebyo naye nze speed yange egenda kusinga eno ekyo kyaffe kyawano munda temukikyusa mukireke. We have achieved rapid rates of growth in some sectors. These isolated positive rapid rates of growth can be generalized throughout the whole economy. There is a French phrase that I have never forgotten since my aborted attempt to learn French 59 years ago in 1962 at Ntare. Apart from fermer la porte, ouvrez la porte, je ne comprends pas, etc. I will never forget the phrase, dormir beaucoup. Certainly in Uganda, I do not know about the other parts of Africa. There's been a lot of dormir beaucoup, kulambara, nino matek, okwebaka, kugweshegera, kulala sana, too much sleep. In Uganda, yesterday I was talking to one delegate, I will not mention the person, a delegate who is sitting here, but I will not mention the person for diplomatic reasons. That person was saying that, but you people, how do you manage to be poor here? With so much rain, so much good soil, and you are poor? Somebody is sitting there in the audience, but I will not tell you who that person is. He asked that question, which I've been asking you myself. That is how you will get poverty with people who have got good land, with fresh water, but only working for the stomach, or called the chida chonka, teach me each keken, and no effort at all for the pocket. Sleeping, however, is also good in its own paradoxical way. There are so many things you do not worry about because you are asleep. A snake can come and enter the bedroom when you are asleep, and it will bite you, and you die peacefully because you did not have time to worry. When you are awake, however, you worry about so many realities that you continue to face. The NRM has been able to wake up sections of the population of Uganda. In 1986, Uganda was a land of shortages. No sugar, no soap, no paraffin, no textiles, no sodas, no salt, no beer, no petrol, etc., etc. With the limited waking up of some of the sections of the population, Uganda now is a country of surpluses. Maize, where we produce 5 million tons per year, but consume only 1 million tons within Uganda. Milk, we produce 2.6 billion liters, but consume only 800 million liters. Bananas, beef, sugar, where we produce 600,000 tons, but consume only 380,000 tons. Hiya nataka kushukuru Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta amenipatia mkataba wa tani elfu 90 kwa kila mwaka. Vile vile nataka kushukuru dada yetu Samia, Her Excellency Samia, ameturuhusu kuuza sukari Tanzania. Asante sana. Nataka kushukuru His Excellency Ndaishimie, Burundi, wananunua sukari yetu. Nataka kushukuru His Excellency Tshisekedi, wanaruhusu sukari yetu Kongo. Nataka kushukuru His Excellency Salva Kiir, wanaruhusu sukari yetu South Sudan na bidhaa nyingine. Otherwise, we were stuck with sugar, producing 600,000 tons, but consuming only 380,000 tons. Cement, steel bars, mitaimbwa, tires and tubes for motorcycles, textiles, ceramic tiles, coffee, 7 million bags, tea. Your country now, in spite of only about 40% of the people waking up, 60% are still asleep. But these 40% who have woken up have produced so many products that the internal market is not enough. Therefore, the small colonial enclave economy of 1971 that had been wiped out by the Amin regime has been restored, greatly expanded, and totally new products have been added. This has now vindicated the stand of the NRM ever since 1965, encapsulated in the 4 principles, one of which is Pan-Africanism. Some of the people in Africa, here in Uganda, they talk of tribes. The tribes, religion, oh. Now, let them buy the sugar now. Let the tribes buy the sugar. If the tribes are important, why do we have a surplus of maize and sugar, and all which they cannot be bought? The NRM has been telling you from 1965 that Pan-Africanism is the way for Africa to go. Now that you have woken up a bit, you are now seeing it for yourselves now. The question is, when all the Ugandans wake up and start using their assets fully, land, labor, capital, to create more wealth in the 4 sectors of commercial agriculture, industry, services, and ICT, who will buy or utilize all those products? Will the internal market of Uganda be enough? The answer is a clear no. The internal market cannot be enough if serious production takes off in Uganda and also in the other African countries. Do we need examples? Look at China and India. Each of them has got an internal market of 1.4 billion people. Yet they have been greatly assisted by exporting to other countries, including the African ones. how could then the population of Uganda of 46 million people be considered enough to sustainably stimulate and absorb the enhanced products of the Ugandans that have woken from the sleep of ignorance about modern opportunities? This is the moment the Ugandans and the other Africans need to answer the question: is this generation of African leaders determined to build a Latin America in Africa or a United States of Africa in Africa? In 1976, when the British settlers in North America got independence, they wisely decided to unite the 13 colonies of the British, of Virginia, New York, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Maryland, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Delaware, North Carolina, South Carolina, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. They have been adding other states ever since. That is how you now have the mighty United States of America. The Spanish colonies in South America, on the other hand, decided to remain scattered into the 18 countries of Latin America, of Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, French Guiana, Paraguay, Chile, Argentina, and Uruguay. What is the result after 246 years? Prosperity in the United States of America and misery in Latin America, almost universally. How will a big business enterprise in Honduras, population 9.9 million, Guatemala, 17.9 million, Costa Rica, 5 million, Panama, 4.3 million, etc. How will this enterprise, big businesses succeed? How will they succeed? Even bigger countries like Brazil, population 212 million, may not easily succeed for the reason that even bigger countries like China and India still need additional markets. By 1900, Argentina was the 10th richest country in the world. What then happened? It was the biggest exporter of beef in the world. That is what I was taught in primary 3 in 1955. What then happened? It seemed the emergence of the protected beef market of the European Union may have been one of the causes of Argentina's decline. I would therefore like to use this occasion to remind the African fraternity that economic and, where possible, political integration in Africa is a sine qua non of the success for Africa. If we are to address the issue of the prosperity of our people and strategic security of Africa, apart from other considerations, I'm glad we are working on the Continental Free Trade Area for the common market of the whole of Africa and on the Confederation of East Africa as a first step to the East African Political Federation. In East Africa, we should not repeat the mistake of 1963 when some actors made us miss our objective of the political federation. And on page 15, I have there the picture of our elders, Mzee Kenyatta, Mwalimu Nyerere, Dr. Obote on the 3rd of June, 1963. And the headline of the Uganda Argus, which you will see in this booklet here, of that day was East African leaders call for Kenya's independence now and federation this year. Top-level talks end in Nairobi, 3rd of June, 1963. We must, where we can, build a center of gravity for the African race. The African race must have a center of gravity. There are smaller countries in the world. However, many of them have centers of gravity. You have got smaller countries in Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Denmark, small countries. But they have got centers of gravity. USA is the center of gravity for the West Europeans. It is their center of gravity. When they're in trouble, it is the one which rescues them. When Hitler wanted to take them over, and after had taken them over, who rescued them? The USA and somebody else, whom they don't talk about now. Russia, for the Balkans. The Slavic nations of Eastern Europe have a center of gravity in Russia. China, for the Far East. India, for South Asia. Where is the economic and strategic center of gravity of the African race? Where is it? When you see black people suffering almost everywhere the black people are suffering. You put on TV, you'll see black people suffering all over the world. In Africa here, they are suffering. In the USA, they are suffering. In Brazil, they are suffering. It is partly on account of lacking this center of gravity. Nobody cares about Africans. Nobody thinks Africans, nobody is careful with Africans. I shouldn't do this because the Africans will be unhappy. No, Africans don't matter. In order, therefore, to solve the problem of the new happy phenomenon of surpluses in Uganda. Now in Uganda there's a new problem, surpluses. Amaido, Duma, Ebikado, Binji Kamara. So Echengara has become a problem. But the Chengara is a good problem. In order, therefore, to solve the problem of the new happy phenomenon of surplus in Uganda, we need to deal, along with our brothers and sisters in